Today we're going to be working with secondary colors. You're going to need a purple, a green, and an orange. All right, and I want you to test to make sure you've got a good orange, a good green, and a good purple. So find some paper, find your crayons, and get back with me. Now that we found our crayons and paper, all right, let's talk about these colors just a little bit. The secondary colors are the second colors made from the primary colors. The primaries, if you remember, were red, blue, and yellow. Primary colors mean first, and red, blue, and yellow always get to be first, but they make the secondary colors. And these second colors are made from the primaries. Orange is made with red and yellow. Green is made with blue and yellow. And purple is made with red and blue. All right, so these colors, your orange, your green, and your purple, are made from your primaries. Now, just like the primaries can mix up colors, so can the secondaries. All right, but when these colors mix together, they're not beautiful colors like secondary colors are. They're colors that artists refer to as mud. These secondary colors can mix up other colors, and they're kind of fun to make, but they're not beautiful colors like the secondary colors are. They are colors that artists refer to as mud. Mud with an ugly kind of look. All right, although sometimes the mud colors can be important, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But let's first mix some mud colors. All right, let's take a little bit of the purple and add some green over top. And you can see it's sort of a grayish looking kind of mud kind of color. Let's take a little bit of the purple and add some orange over top. And it's a more of a brownish kind of look. Let me get some more purple in there. Oh, put some green in there. I made it more of a blah, blah, blah kind of color, didn't I? Let's try again. A little bit of purple and a little bit of the orange. It usually makes sort of a brownish kind of look if I go back and forth just a little bit. So try that brownish kind of mud kind of color. And if you put a little bit of orange with some green, you'll get more of a tannish kind of color. All right, so those are all mud colors. And again, when we mix all of them together, and I was kind of mixing all of them together right here, it just really gets to be this kind of blah, kind of mud, kind of gross kind of color. All right, and that's what it is. Now again, when you look at those colors really, really close, a lot of times you can see all the beautiful colors that made them. All right, but it's when you get back and your eyes adjust that the colors turn kind of muddy and kind of dull. All right, so these are the mud colors. So now that we've played around a little bit with the secondary colors and mixing up mud colors, let's talk about drawing a picture just with these three crayons, the green, the purple, and the orange. And you would think that you couldn't make very much with these three colors, but they can actually make beautiful pictures. And sometimes mud, while sometimes it looks ugly, a lot of times it would really make your drawing pop out. All right, so here I have a mud monster coming out of the mud. I don't want him to look clean and neat. I have him popping right up, and you can see I've mixed all the colors into him to get the mud kind of look. But I do have sort of a brownish kind of look on my trees with my orange and purple. I just have a purple background and then some green grass on the edge of my swamp. All right, my mud monster. And here in my monster truck, all right, going through a big mud puddle, you can see I've used those mud colors again to get the mud kind of look coming out. I also, again, used the purple and the orange to get more of a brownish look to my trees back there. But I kept my Jeep kind of clean just with the green color. But I want you to notice my tires, right? In one, I just colored purple. But in the other, I colored purple with green over top, which makes that gray, blackish kind of looking mud kind of color. All right, so there's lots of things that you can do with those mud colors. Now, before we move on, I want to show you just a real simple little drawing with mud colors because I want to give you a heads up, a little bit of a warning. So let me divide my paper down in two. And I'm just going to draw a field of flowers. All right. Now, Sometimes this happens when you're drawing a Christmas tree over the holidays as well. But I get a lot of people that will draw their field or they'll draw their tree and they will color it all solid green. They'll color all the grass first. All right. And that's fine. But if you want to put flowers over top, those flowers are going to get awful muddy looking real quickly. All right, so let me show you what I've got. So I've got my tree here, and now, or my hill here, and let me go ahead and put my flower on. So this is going to be my orange flower. I'm going to color it in, and I'm going to make the inside of it purple. And let me make a purple flower. And I'm just making really simple bumpity bump flowers just because I'm just experimenting and I just want you to see the difference. All right. So when you do that, the colors mix and get kind of muddy looking. On the other side, if I did the same kind of bumpity flowers and I color them in. And let me find my purple. This one's got an extra petal, but that's okay. If I color my flowers first, and then when I put in my heel, if I decorate my heel back behind, not going over top, but back behind, those colors will be nice and beautiful and shiny, and those flowers will look gorgeous. So you can see the difference. Okay, so I'm hoping you can see the difference between the two flowers. This is why they're called mud colors, because if not used correctly, the color gets kind of dull and kind of blah kind of looking, where here it's popping out. But be careful, because when I start coloring this hill, if you color straight back over top again, all that color mixes, and again, it dulls it out, kind of gets back to that mud kind of look. But as we saw earlier, mud kind of look can be important. Let me show you a few more. Here, I've just used my orange, my purple, and my green. I've got some purple grapes and a green lime and some oranges in my purple basket. And I've used mud color, mixing all the colors to get my table down. But notice how I put the shadows in. I have my orange and a little bit of purple for the shadow. Gives that little darkness there. All right, in my lime, I've got a little bit of the orange and a little bit of the purple, making sort of that grayish kind of look in there. In my bowl, I added not only the purple on this side, but I added some green over top to get the shadow into the background. All right, again, lots of beautiful things you can create with your secondary colors, your orange, purple, and green. Just be careful not to get too carried away and try to do too much too fast. Think about where you should really use the mud, where it's really going to show up. Here it shows up really well in my rocks and in my dirt in the bottom, but I left my goldfish kind of orange looking with just a little bit of shadow with the purple and the green on top of them. All right, have fun today just playing with the secondary colors. Try not to be tempted to use the other colors, using just secondary colors, and see what you can come up with.